Hiya. So I just had a friend ask me about my digital painting that I do on DeviantART and whether I do a speed paint on YouTube, just to show a little bit of how I do it. So, gonna have a go at that. Cheers, Lizzie. So the first step I normally start from is to find a sketch, and I have lots of sketches from lots of sketchbooks over the years. So I just have tons of little drawings and things. And I find one of these and scan it or photograph it and bring it into my hard drive and work from there. Come to England, they said. It's summer, they said. Now unfortunately, I use Paint Shop Pro, and Shadowplay doesn't really want to record my screen when Paint Shop Pro is open. I think it's something to do with Aero on Windows, so I'm filming my screen for this bit, only this bit. So I open my hard drive where I've got all my drawings recorded from sketchbooks. And I open up various drawings to view them, to turn into digi-paintings. I'm one of these people who doesn't paint behind the lines like cartoonists do. I kind of paint over all the existing lines, so everything you see is pretty much gone as soon as I apply the colour. And the way I work to create kind of dark lines around art and things for that kind of cartoony style is probably a bit unorthodox. It's not really the way other artists would do it, especially people working in things like Photoshop. As you can see, this is a folder here called Darkens. And so these are drawings where I've taken the drawing once I found it in the folder, and as you can see, I've crushed it down to almost black. This one's not quite almost black. This is a brightness and contrast tool. It's my favourite tool in most photo programs, actually. When I found it in the folder, it probably began looking like this. There we go. So I crushed it down so it was darkened, because obviously a good way to shade is to start at the darkest colour and slowly over time work up to lighter colours to do highlights and things. So I painted that one, so here's what that one turned out looking like. I think if I spent more time on it I would put more kind of glints and metal textures around here and things, but this was just a kind of speed paint based on the darken. So seeing as this is kind of impromptu, I think I'll go for something that's not too hard and has a lot of references. So I was looking in my directories for celebrities or famous people, you know. So I've got a folder here from the Tudors, which is an excellent TV show I watch, and I used to draw a few things from there. So here we've got Joss Stone as Anne of Cleves there. So that would probably have a lot of references that I could just Google, to be honest. I think that's pretty much the same image, except slightly she's facing slight different direction there. So we'll grab that one. It's also useful to have more than one reference, even if they're different pictures. If you don't quite like parts of what you've drawn, like the expression in that shot, you can paint over it with a completely different expression. There's all sorts of things you can do, really. So what I will do now is I'm gonna when I captured this, that's 100%. When I captured this from my camera, it's lower resolution than I like to work on. Make sure your resolution's high before you start painting on it, because you'll get more detail out of it. That's what the image is now, so it's actually 1280 times 960, which is definitely too small. So I like to be working on at least 3000 by 3000. So maybe if I go to 400% maybe. I press OK there. So now I'm going to darken it. There we go, that's just faint enough, but I can still see it. And now we're going to save that image somewhere and port the refs over to Corel Painter. I'm going to use Shadowplay to record this, because hopefully it will. Make sure you save as a BMP file, not a JPEG. It wouldn't work on a JPEG because you just don't have the quality. So here we are, folks. I'm using Shadowplay to record now. If you didn't know, Shadowplay is my screen cap software. And I'm going to open up the darkened drawing here. There we go. So now I'm just going to film this for a couple of hours and hopefully time compress it, and you can just watch this.
gorgeous journeys into modern time.